Welcome to Blue Silver Cafe Presents, where we have the privilege of interviewing some of the most interesting movers and shakers in business, entertainment, arts, and culture. I'm your host, Randall Phillips, music curator, designer, internet radio host, and DJ for Blue Silver Cafe, your ultimate source for music education and appreciation. Our guest today is multimedia artist, art curator, and fashion designer Adriana Poterash. Adriana is also the admin for New Modern, a Facebook group aimed to reflect the new developments in painting, sculpture, architecture, design, fiber arts, photography, eco, and urban arts. I'm happy to bring to the Blue Silver Cafe stage the multi-talented Adriana Poterash.
Thank you.
The crowd goes wild. How are you doing today?
I'm doing wonderful. Thank you.
Better yet, what are you doing today? Because I always check, I snoop on what you got going on Facebook. I saw a painting there today. What was that all about?
That was old work, but actually now I'm working on an artist-made book, number 2. I read some poetry, about 12 poems, and I want to illustrate them and then to publish them and then to
Okay.
make my own book.
I like that. I figured you were gonna tell me that. I knew you weren't gonna say, "Yeah, I just slept in." I knew you were gonna say, because I saw that. Are we gonna call it a portrait, painting, picture? What was that you had on Facebook today?
It was actually a top of a ceramic pot that I made a very long time ago.
Now, what I'm speaking of, it was like a painting. It had a lady's face, and then it looked like in the middle was like a snake.
Oh. I don't remember drawing
Okay.
snakes.
Hey, I understand. Just like music, you got so much stuff. You're like, what is he talking about? That's good stuff. Well, we've known each other only for a short time, maybe a year, I think, through Facebook. But I will say that time has been very interesting looking at all the different types of art that you post. And both of us joined Facebook in 2009. But do you remember the reason why you joined? I know why I joined it, but
Yes, because I was at the School of the Art Institute and I wanted to create a special group of artists. And my very important teacher, Mary Lou Zelazny, she advised me to start a group on the Facebook because it will be a much larger audience. And I'm very grateful for that. And since then, I always publish new artists that I find. And I found it to be very inspirational for other people, so I keep on doing it.
okay, I like that. So primarily, it seems like it was a way for you to connect with others.
To spread art, because it was so overwhelming to see how many talented artists there are. And possibly they do not get exposure. So even if I could do a little, I would be more than happy because you never know. One drop can turn into ocean. And yes, and it can inspire someone else. That's why artists needs to help each other.
I
That's
like
why I
that.
don't believe in competition, because competition is for horses, not for artists. I believe
What?
more on cooperation.
Okay. So I'm a professional Facebook profile investigator, just so in case you were trying to figure that out. And in my investigations of your personal page, I noticed that your page is very modest. You aren't bragging about anything, especially your awesomeness, nor are you marketing any of your products or services. However, when I looked in the about section of your page, I was able to find out some good stuff about you when I clicked on the hyperlink for the Noyes Cultural Arts Center. Am I pronouncing that right?
Yes, yes.
Okay. Yeah. So tell us about your involvement with the Noyes Cultural Arts Center.
Many years ago, another professor, she had a solo show at the Noise Cultural Arts Center, and she invited me to her studio there. And when I got into studio, I thought, God, I never asked for anything. but if you could grant me to have a studio here one day, it would be my biggest wish. And it did come true several years later.
Nice.
Yes, it's a wonderful place because we have two theaters. We have a circus school, one of the 8 in North America, and we have several dozen of artists who have the private studio there. And
That's
we're
nice.
very active, yeah, because we do have to do volunteer work for community. And I truly enjoyed it. Like probably my most enjoyable was I worked in an orphanage giving art classes in Chicago.
Okay. Nice.
Yes, children inspired me as much as the other artists.
So, from my research, it looks like you've been involved with art and in the art world at least since 1977. And during that time, it looks like you were in St. Petersburg, Russia. Wow.
No,
Like
it was much
my
earlier.
question to you, my question to you would be, when and why did you decide to become an artist? Was it 1977 in St. Petersburg, Russia, or before that?
For that when I was 5. Actually, because I was born in Bucharest, Romania, and
Ah,
my
okay.
parents divorced, and my mother took me to St. Petersburg, Russia, the city I know as Leningrad when I grew up there. And when I was 5, there was a fashion designer for children who saw me on the street, and she asked my mother if I could be her runway model as a kid. And my mother, she was very young. She's a piano teacher. She couldn't find a job. So I was the honorable breadwinner for a family. Yeah, for 2 years. Yes. And her name was Larisa Radke. And I remember her doing the sketches. And I was so fascinated by drawing. And she saw that and she gave me some of her sketches and she said, trace them over and learn. And at the age of 5, I remember, I don't want to be a princess. I don't want a prince in my life. I don't want to get married. I just want to go to art school. I want to learn how to draw and to paint. So it was a little such a determination that surprised me now at the age of 5. So all the years I was thinking I'm going to go to the art school, and and I have to say that some people are born with natural talent to draw and paint. I didn't have it, but I had such a drive, and I knew I had to work very hard. And I did two preparatory special studies in Stiglitz Design School, and I was ready to go to the this very excellent school back in the Soviet Union. But my parents decided to immigrate again, and I said, no, 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 I'm going to that school. That was my dream. You guys go. I'm going to stay here with grandparents. They said, oh, no, you're going to go to the West because there's more freedom for artists. So uh, we were supposed to go to Canada, but actually we got stuck in Italy because Canada refused our work visas and we were stateless and we had nowhere to go. And United States offered my stepdad to come because he was an engineer. So we came to Chicago.
Okay.
And I live in Chicago all 45 years. The first thing I did, I came to the School of the Art Institute, brought my portfolio. They said I'll be admitted. They're going to give me scholarship because we were penniless as immigrants. But my parents said, no, 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 no artist. You have to be lawyer, doctor. I said, neither. And we kind of compromised on chemistry. So my first degree was in chemistry. I still did minor in art and hoped to go to Art Institute after, but life took over. And I went back to school only when I was in late 40s. And I went first to the Harper College community, which is excellent school. And then I went to the School of the Art Institute, and I graduated from there later on.
So that is quite a story. Very interesting. Probably make a movie out of that. I'm gonna get the rights.
Yeah, some people say determination. My ex-husband always were unhappy about my stubbornness, but it was bad for them, but it was good for me.
Okay.
Yeah.
So moving to today,
Yes.
what is the inspiration behind the art that you create now?
A lot of things move me emotionally so strongly that I cannot keep them in.
Okay.
It could be suffering, it could be beauty, it could be thoughts, it could be idea. And I feel that I needed to put it down into paper, into sculpture, to express it, to let it out. And I find inspiration everywhere because I'm like a wanderer and wanderer. You know, I wander in life and I always see everywhere beauty and amazement, how everything works in nature, the relationship among people.
So give
Um,
me an
yes.
example. I hear what you're saying, but the last thing that you created, like tell me the specific thought process that you said, "Oh, I need to I need to paint."
The last one was during COVID. I created a big painting called Opus.
Mm-hmm.
And because everything was in such an upheaval,
Mm-hmm.
so I created an ocean, a huge like tsunami waves that were beaten up by some wings of huge angels on the side.
Mm-hmm.
But from that water were coming little capsules, like little spheres. And for me, a sphere is always a symbol of life, of some message, of some beginning that can travel through cosmos, through anything. It's indestructible. And they were coming up, you know, out of the water in a sense of a hope.
Ah, that's deep. I like that. And I've always wanted to talk to an artist because a lot of times you'll see, if you go to an art gallery, you'll see something on the wall. Depending on how prepared the curator is, you'll know the story behind it. But to actually hear an artist describe their work, because I've actually heard some artists say stuff like, "What does it mean to you?" Stuff like that. It's like, come on.
I do it often, and it's interesting.
Right, right. So here's a question for all of us. With you being a creative person, how do you manage being creative while living in the regular world like the rest of us with bills, concerns for your family, as well as other responsibilities? Like, how do you manage that?
You see, for so many years, I wanted to do art, but life took over. So even at the beginning um, of my independent life, I was living for 2 years below the poverty level, but I still managed to go for classes. And then I have a family. I was taking care for my daughter and my grandmother for many years on my own, but I was married, but I always earned money on the side. But I would always go to the studio once or twice a week. That was my time. I never gave up that dream. And the need to express, to be creative. So I always learned how to earn money any possible way. That's why it was difficult. However, it gave me a lot of freedom because I learned how to create what I feel, what I want to express, because the money we made on the side. I wonder sometimes if I was selling my art, how the demand of the market and the gallery would affect what I'm creating. So the hardship in the past, I think it kind of worked very well for where I am today. At least I'm happy. I'm satisfied with that. And that's true that I am very private. I do not advertise myself. I'm not even on Instagram. However, I guess I was fortunate enough. The right people always come across, and the good people always help out. So, and I do make sales. I do sell my work, and the word goes from one person to another. So there is a way.
Okay.
There is a way.
Congratulations on that.
Thank you.
So you mentioned that you're from Romania originally, right? You said Romania.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
My mind gets bad sometimes. So how do you like it in Romania? Have you been there lately, or how does that experience compare to Chicago?
Well, I say that I have three geographical mothers: Romania, Russia, and United States.
Okay.
And I love them all, and they always loved me too. and I learned a lot from them. Romania, I left when I was 3.5, but because I have a relative there, so I could, when they stopped being socialist country, so I could come and visit them from United States. And I had the most beautiful relationship with my aunts. For 21 years, I was traveling there. With Russia, when I left at 18, I I was there only once. It was many, many years ago, because the family people passed away.
Okay.
The life was very different in every country, but it was very enriching for me because I lived in socialist system, in kind of semi-socialist system, and I lived in capitalist system. And those were interesting life experiences. I'm very grateful for that. There were many hardships, yes, but I'm grateful for them too, because they made me to appreciate many things, and they make me stronger and tougher. So it's hard to compare, but in me, there is always love for all the three countries. And also, I lived in Italy like for half a year, and I lived in
That's what I was gonna
yes,
ask you. That's my next part. So
yes.
I also in my research saw that you've lived in some fabulous places. Like, I mean, honestly, I don't know because I could be wrong. That's why I was asking you. Russia, Romania doesn't sound fabulous. Italy, and these are places that you live. Italy and France definitely sounds a little bit more like ooh. Russia, Romania,
Hmm.
Italy, France, oui, oui. So since you've lived in all these different fabulous places and pretty much probably all over the world, if money were no object and you could live anywhere in the world, where would that be?
Here in Evanston, yeah, in two places, maybe
What?
three, maybe three.
Wait,
Yes,
wait, wait. Well,
Evanston is
in
my
all of the places in the
yes,
whole world,
yes,
Evanston, is that what you just said?
yes. Evanston is my geographical point, and also north of Wisconsin, where I do have a cabin, and I go and live there in the summer in the forest, in the most simplest way, in
Okay.
nature. And
You need
those
to
two
make a
are
city of
perfect.
Evanston
Yes.
commercial with that. I mean, I'm just letting you know.
No, it's
You
it's really
guys rank
wonderful.
above France and Italy. Like, what?
I love them. I've been to France 9 times. I've been to Italy 5 times, and I find them very inspirational, especially Paris. Everywhere I look, in smallest street, I always find something beautiful, something artistic, something inspiring. Um, yes, but I live here 45 years, so this is my home.
Okay.
And yes, and just to be in cabin in nature, who can have that luck? To me, it's the biggest luxury.
All right.
Yes.
I'm going to take your word for it. So, here at Blue Silver Cafe, we always ask everybody that we talk to give us an exclusive Blue Silver Cafe fun fact. And
Mm.
that fun fact is something that most people don't know about you. Now, I know you're private, so you don't have to give us the combination to your safe or anything like that, but we need something exclusive where people will say, what? That's what I want. So, what is
Uh,
that fun fact?
I'm proud, but I'm honest. I found the household chores to be highly toxic to my sense of happiness. I'm not a good
Adriana, you are
housekeeper.
taking this off the rails. Did you just say you find household chores to be
Chores,
extremely toxic?
yes, to my sense of happiness, and I avoid them. And I'm quite lazy. People don't believe it because they see me being very prolific in art.
Right.
But I'm really, when I get home, I'm complete hedonist.
I got you. Okay, well, that's definitely a fun fact. So, wow, I did not anticipate that. Thank you for sharing. Whew. So, our next question is as an artist and creative person, what would you say is your value added proposition? Meaning, as an artist, what sets you apart from the rest of the artists? Because I know you said you don't like competition. So typically I'll say, what sets you apart from your competition? Or better yet, what is it that makes you and your art different, let's say, from other artists, since we don't like the competition word?
Yes, I don't like competition. Challenge is okay. I like to challenge because it's
Okay.
kind of more positive for me.
Right.
But honestly, I cannot answer this question
Well, let
because
me let me
only the
say it a different
pure.
way. So, because I a lot of people like yourself that are modest will say that. So, what I'm saying is, I'm not an artist, but I could imagine in your art culture, like any other culture, everybody has similar things that you do with your basics. Like, in football, this is a football. You know this, okay? If somebody wants to be in art, there, you need your brushes, your paint, and all that stuff. But what is your little thing that you do that maybe you've noticed you do and other people don't do it? And you say you figured other people did it too, but you're like, oh, nobody else is doing this. This is kind of my little thing that you do. What is that?
Maybe because I do love to experiment.
Mm-hmm.
I love experimenting with different materials, with different approaches, with different self-expression.
Okay.
I don't like, yes, I like to do it my own way, failure or not, but being pioneer, being explorer, to me is more important than creating a good work of art. Experimenting probably is a driving engine for me.
Okay. Well, there it is. See, I knew we would get to it. So, what is your favorite part of being involved in the art world? Because there's a lot of different, you got the creative side, you got the glamorous side, which you don't seem to talk about that, and the side where people are saying, "Oh man, your stuff is awesome," or just the, coming up with a concept. What is your favorite? If you had to pick one part, what's your favorite part of being an artist? Because that's what you are. You're an artist.
Suffering, torture, torment,
Okay.
thinking how to make it. Things don't work out. You do something, it fails, and then all of a sudden the failure is better than original idea. All this torment, you
Gotcha.
forget that you are a human being because you forget you need to eat. You forget about time. And you kind of, the best part, the artists are a different breed. We just kind of tap our foot and it takes up in a thin sliver between the earth and heaven where we exist in this particular moment. And there is no time, there is complete peace. And we're kind of getting interesting inspiration, information, whatever people would describe it. But in this moment, you live like 100% to yourself. And this is the best feeling the human can experience.
So, what is your favorite activity for relaxation?
Being in the forest, yes. I like to go to Wisconsin for 2 3 weeks, lock myself up. I have some friends, good friends there. I visit sometimes, but I just like to listen to forest, to noises of birds, animals, because to me it's truly divine. It's so virgin, it's so right, it's so harmonious, and it's the best for my spirit. And just to sit on the porch, to get a nice drink, a nice book, and to sit there until the sunset and to read the book, to me it's the biggest luxury in life.
So, I like the fact that you said a nice drink because I'm figuring you're talking about an adult beverage, correct?
Yes.
Nice. So, what are some other things that you like to do for fun besides immersing yourself in the art world? I know that you said that you like to be in nature at your cabin in Wisconsin. In fact, I got family in Wisconsin too. Wisconsin is an awesome place. A
Mm.
lot of people don't realize that. They just think of, I know in the States, a lot of people think of Wisconsin for dairy and that, but there's all kinds of other good stuff. So, what do you do besides immersing yourself in art and nature at your cabin for fun?
Music. I love all types of music. I'll go to concerts all the time.
Nice.
And
Like,
meeting with friends, going to dinner. To me, it's like it's such a happiness to meet with friends, to have dinner together. to laugh, to talk, to walk together. Those are the beautiful moments.
And you said earlier when we were off the air, you said that you like Soul Train. So,
Yeah.
and you're an official Soul Train dancer, right?
No, I was not. At home, when they had that, the corridor, when they all yeah, I
Oh
was doing
man,
with them. No.
what dance would you do, Adriana?
Whatever moves me.
How about the funky chicken?
Probably not.
Okay, I'm just messing with you. Sorry. So here at Blue Silver Cafe, we always like to have a musical component because that's what we're all about. And there was something that I thought about when I was getting ready to, when I was getting prepared to talk to you today, and when I heard it, I was like, let's see what Adriana thinks. Let me do this.
Mm, very lament.
Hmm.
Yes. Like a
What'd you say?
lament. Like a lament. Lament, beautiful. A lot of sadness. A
Yes.
lot of repose and thinking.
Yeah. I was I was I wanted to ask how that made you feel. You said that, and I said to myself, should I say how I feel about it? But that's
Yes.
how I feel. That was interesting.
Mm.
And the name of that piece was called Walking in the Air, performed by cellist Octavia Reese. And I played that song because to me it represents one picture or aspect out of your life as an artist. Because I know most of the stuff that we've talked about today is things that bring you joy and happiness, but I can tell just based upon what you put out to the world on Facebook that you have a little bit of that too. But that's not all of it. That's just like maybe one picture out of many pictures. And so I also wanted to, you know, showcase that person who is a person I know, myself in real life. And I wanted your millions of fans to check out her YouTube channel. That's Octavia Reese. And you can check out that as well as other things that she does right here in Chicago at youtube.com/@ Octavia Reese. And the thing that's so interesting about when you see that video, get it, when you get a chance, check it out. She's actually playing cello, and what she did was do what I'm gonna call an overdub. So it's like her in the middle playing a cello, and then there's four other images of her playing different parts in the cello song, which to me made me feel like different aspects of maybe her personality. I don't know if that's what she was trying to do, but it's kind of fascinating because it's like she made her own band of 5 different people playing cello, but it's still her. It's kind of cool. So,
No, it's interesting because when music moves me, I
mhm.
see paintings, and sometimes then I paint painting. And it's interesting she said different images, because what I saw is a woman walking on kind of like sunset clouds, like several women, like split images.
Yep.
Interesting. And I do workshop on synesthesia. And
On what?
synesthesia, it's it's the different sensory perception that you combine. What I teach people to write poetry, couple of quadrants,
Okay.
and then they have to illustrate them. But then they have to analyze the color they used. And then they're going to be creating the music according to colors. I use a scale of Scriabin because he created special scale of every musical note corresponding to a particular color. So this way, people creating poetry into visual art and then into music. So to combine all the sensory perceptions to open the mind. And it's interesting because I was teaching this workshop to professional artists in Germany, and I was teaching it in orphanage in Chicago. And result was equally great.
Okay. So
I was
speaking of
quite
that,
amazed. Yes. Mm-hmm.
speaking of that, since you've been in the art world for a while, are there any up and coming artists that you are following, like the people who you're teaching in that, or some other artists that you go, man, I like them. They're good, doing good stuff.
I like so many. There are so many talented people right now. And
Give me a
just
name.
probably I would advise to go to New Modern, because
Okay.
just few names, it would be such a
I
it
know
would,
what you're saying.
yeah, there are so many. I don't want to name just a few.
I know. I
Please
know.
go to New
You
Modern
want to be
because
fair. I
yes, to be fair.
understand.
Yes,
Uh,
yes.
so I'm an art appreciation novice, beginner, but I would like to learn more slowly. How would you recommend that I start my art appreciation journey?
Do not limit yourself to thoughts that you don't know how to draw or how to paint. Just take a pencil, take a paint, piece of paper, and start. Whatever comes, you start. And what helped me,
So, do I have to actually do work to appreciate art? You're saying that I have to get pencils and pen and
if you
paper
want to
and
do it
start doing.
yourself, yes,
Okay.
but it will allow you to appreciate um, art as a viewer too, a spectator.
Okay.
There is no division. You see, I don't like division. I think humans evolved enough to kind of mix all the perception, to be a spectator and to be artists together. People have to be free because those limitations are uh, very discouraging. Yes, and they prevent to find the full happiness in life, the full evolvement.
Okay. So, my next question would be, now this is not anybody that you know. Let's go far back in history if you need to. But what artists do you like the most? You got Picasso, Van Gogh, all those guys. Who would you say of, maybe let's call them the greats? Because I know you don't want to hurt any new people's feelings.
Yeah, I love Gerhard Richter, a German artist, Gerhard Richter
Okay.
and Anselm Kiefer. Yes, I like both of them, but especially Gerhard Richter because he had
Can you
very
spell that name?
Richter,
Yeah,
Richter, Richter,
okay.
Gerhard.
Okay. Because we
Mhm.
want the viewing audience to check out who you're talking about to see what it is that you are wanting us to do.
Yes. He never limited himself. First of all, there is a lot of intensity in his work.
Hmm.
He was excellent figurative artist, And the same time, he was very innovative, and he was leading avant-garde sometimes in the abstraction of realistic painting and photographs. He constantly experimented. He never limited his artistic freedom to please anyone. He was constantly developing, and the courage he had to show something new and to do something new, I greatly respect him for that.
What advice would you give to the new generation of artists, those who actually do want to do what you do? Not just an appreciator like me, but a person says, hey, you know what? I got the art itch in the bug. I got to scratch it. I'm ready to get started. What advice, what brief advice would you get? I'm sure you got a whole show full of advice, but brief advice would you give to a new generation of artists?
Uh,
I know that's hard.
the new generation is very admirable. They have more freedom. They have very open minds, even sometimes more than my generation. And I have a great vision for them, if I may say so.
Okay.
But don't listen to others. Don't go into chemistry like I had to. If you feel you need to develop art, you can do things together. Like I could be an example, right? I never gave it up because one day I thought, if I'm on my deathbed, I will hate myself because I never kept the promise to that 5-year-old girl to go into arts. So I turned around and I did it. And it was one of the best things I did in my life. Number one is my daughter. Number two is art. Yes. And keep on developing because everything can be combined. I just have my friend whose son is combined by engineering and he's taking sculpture simultaneously. And I can see how one thing can feed another. The same, there is no limitations.
You have a fascinating story, and I appreciate you sharing all of these things that you have experienced and what we can do to appreciate art more. What is the best way for our audience to show you the most support? And I'm going to give you some options. So, some people like spreading the word by word of mouth, which is always good. Or should they connect with you on social media, join your mailing list, buy tickets to your events, buy your art? Like, what's the best way?
First of all, I should check my website that it's available. I'm on a Facebook. Uh, please find me. And there is a art group, New Modern. I hope the people would join it and they would contribute their work and they would maybe inspired by work of others. And
Okay.
when I have a workshop, you can contact me by messenger, give me your email. And when I have a next workshop, I will put you on my list and you're welcome to come. And I do my workshop for free.
Okay. Nice. So, I know you're on Facebook. That's how we met. But are there any other social media platforms that you're on or no?
No,
Okay.
no.
Gotcha. So, is there a way for us?
Website, adrianapoterash.com. Yes,
Okay.
yes.
Is there a place on there for us to get on your email list for upcoming events?
Yes, there is a contact
Okay.
section. You can
Gotcha.
contact me, please.
So we know that you stay busy with creating and curating artistic masterpieces. I like how that sounds. But do you have anything coming up that you'd like to let us know about?
Yes, I was invited to go to Washington, D.C.
Mm,
to receive an award for leaders,
hmm.
protagonists in arts. So I'm very honored to receive it. It's going to be on November 24th. And this is a very big event. I'm going to go there with my daughter and my son-in-law. So Yeah,
All right.
I'll be in the capital receiving an award. So
Congratulations.
thank you.
Yeah. Make sure you take lots of pictures and put them on Facebook so I can see them.
Absolutely.
So, besides going to Washington, D.C. and hobnobbing with the president, who
Oh,
can
it's
our
not. No,
audience?
no, no, not with the president. No,
I
no,
know,
no.
I'm just messing with
No,
you.
there is a private art company. Yeah, that they choose me.
I like you. Hey, you
I'm
find
not
that
going
I
that
say
way.
crazy stuff because I know if it was the president, you would have said that.
Of course.
So, who, besides the people in Washington, D.C., who you're going to see, can our audience connect you with to assist you with your future projects or goals? And what I mean by that is sometimes I've talked to people who said, if I can only meet this person, that would be a dream come true. Or if you know somebody that can do this particular aspect of my business, that would be amazing. Like I'm on the hunt for a person to do video editing, so I'm putting that out there. That's not going to charge me a whole lot of money because I could do it, but I'm just not interested. But that's what I'm putting out there. So for you, who can the audience connect you with to help you with your future projects or goals?
Mm,
Or if you don't have anybody, that's fine. You know.
I think maybe the audience might know better.
Okay. All
If
right.
they know something, I'm open to advice of others. Yes.
Okay. So
Yes.
what you're saying is let them look at this interview that we're doing and then they can decide who to hook you up
Yes.
with.
Hmm.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
And I
He's
would be very
modest.
grateful. Yes.
So what is out of all of the ways that people have to contact you, what would you say is the best way to get in contact with you? Would it be Facebook or your website or what?
Uh, Messenger, Facebook,
Okay.
website. Yes.
Okay. So what's interesting about Messenger that you mentioned that I find that like I use Facebook on my computer as well as my laptop as well as my phone, and on the phone Messenger is a whole different thing from Facebook, which is I don't know why that is, but and you can actually call people and do video calls and stuff on that, which I really don't do. But yeah, I never thought of saying people to for people to call my Messenger or check me out on Messenger. So yeah, that's good stuff. All right. So, Adriana, thank you so much for chatting with us today. I feel educated as well as I feel more creative. I just feel the creativeness coming from the screen, and we really appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. So, that ends our show today with Adriana Poterash, and I'm glad that I'm able to pronounce her name right. I asked her, she said, "That's it." And I was like, "Yes." So, contact us and join the Blue Silver Cafe VIP list at bluesilvercafe.com. You can connect with all of our social media at Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube. Also, we would really like for you to create an account and follow us at mixcloud.com/Blue Silver Cafe, because there we have all of the music that we want to introduce to the world. A lot of stuff you may have heard, but maybe some things that you haven't. And we want to let you know to join us for Blue Silver Cafe this not Friday, this Monday, November 13th from 6 o'clock to 10 p.m. Central Time, where we dig deep in the crates to play the best music of your life and provide homework for your favorite DJ, and also some funky tunes for Adriana Poterash to do the Soul Train line. So I'm Randall Phillips, and we'll see you next time on Blue Silver Cafe Presents. Have a good night.
You too.
And thank
Bye-bye.
you, Adriana Poterash.
You.